Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, get into the TA. Alright guys, so we're going to start here on the weekly time frame over here on QQQ, and then we're going to work our way over to SPY, and then we can go over some SMH. We'll start off with some SMH before we get into that weekly chart over there on QQ. Alright, so SMH, we did point out in the weekly update that semis typically do tend to lead rallies or declines. We did end up popping our head up above here. You've reached a new all-time high over here on semis. I did mention in that weekly update, I did think QQQ was going to be up next, and then we can expect SPY to follow in their footsteps next. All right, but I do think it's going to go one by one here. SMH, then Qs, then SPY. All right. Now, SMH, like I said, leader. Okay, leader, you broke out to new high. QQQ is not there at a new high yet, all right? But we do have a new local high. So we did break the July top today. That is something to definitely be noted. So we broke the July top. We now have, on the weekly time frame, we really don't have any structure that we're going to bump our heads up into until you get to all-time highs. Am I telling you we're going straight to 400 bucks? Are we going to have another $10 move up before we get that pullback? Yes, I'm still saying pullback. I don't think we're going to get any massive sell-off. I mean, I do think it's going to be a rather large pullback with the fact that this thing just ran, what are we up, 50 bucks now? All right, 50 bucks in a few weeks here without any pullback. 48 bucks there, guys. No pullback. All right, so just know, like, when one does come, it's going to be pretty brutal. All right, it is that, but I cannot deny it, and we are bullish on this market at the bottom. Guys, I shorted, literally, I planned on shorting the pullback and then longing that pullback. We never got the pullback, all right? So I'm just going to say the trade has been swing long for quite some time, all right? It has not changed, okay? My lesson, so I shared this with the Discord earlier, my lesson over the past few weeks is just because something's not a long doesn't mean it's not a short. All right, I was extremely bullish on this market. I know anybody who is around, with us, as for these 2 weeks, I was extremely bullish on this dip. All right, my thumbnail said bullish on the pullback. Why? Because we were coming into not only major support over here in SPY, break and retest. All right, but you also had, at that point, we had this bullish divergence setting up. We had fear and greed index down at 17 over here. You reached a low of like 21, I want to say, over here. All right, this is where your bottoms are put in. All right, you come over the fear and greed index now. It's all the way back up at greed territory, guys. Within 3 weeks, we went from extreme fear up to extreme greed. That is how quick things change. Just know, the people down here who were, the perma bears, they got it completely wrong. All right, and now we are literally seeing that reset. This is where your bottoms get put in. Up here is where your tops get put in. I don't think we're going to go straight up there yet, okay? But I will tell you right now, if you do see QQQ move up $10 tomorrow, then yeah, there's a solid chance we do literally see this thing hop up above 70, and then we're going to start saying like, hey, all right, major top getting put on, which I'm just going to say right now, I'm still bullish on this pullback. I don't care. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, on the weekly chart, this thing looks absolutely ferocious. It looks like you're literally getting your next leg up. All right, I don't know how someone could really look at this and be bearish on this market. I don't understand. All right, you could be short-term bearish, but in the grand scheme of things, semis have already made new all-time highs, leading indicator. You have QQQ, the NASDAQ, with no resistance until all-time highs. And you got SPY looking like it's going to run straight up to the July high all in one go. All right, and after that, you don't have any structure to bump your head up into until you reach all the way up here at 476. There's a big difference between here and here. All right, I'm also going to take the time to point out, guys, this is my belief, okay? It's my belief of what's going on right now, all right? I don't think you got people just buying in. Like, I know there are some people buying in just to, new highs, because one of my coworkers is literally one of those guys. And hey, you ended up making money. I think he literally bought in right here on this day, and then literally, it kept going. It never pulled back. We were talking about it the day before, and then there was that CPI. You just gapped up fat. We had opposite bets. He had the long bet. I had the short bet. So there was that. But yeah, so I do know there are people who are taking what Powell was saying at the last FOMC meeting, and that's their key to get into the market. All right, so there was that. I'm just going to tell you right now, until they actually do start cutting rates, you're probably going to get one heck of a rally off of that. Like, I understand this is one heck of a rally, but when they actually cut rates, not just say they're going to be cutting rates or they're just continuing to pause, I'm just saying, you're probably going to get one heck of a move up. All right. And then when all is said and done with that move up, you're going to finally get that crash that people down here were talking about, that people down here were talking about, people down here were talking about. All right. You're finally going to get it. Historically speaking, you don't get your crash until post cut, post pivot. All right. We want to see the Fed pivot from going up to pausing, then to down. All right. Whenever that becomes the case, that is when we could start talking about a crash. But for the time being, guys, these charts are incredibly bullish, and I will not change my tone. All right. I will not. What I will definitely say is in the short term, this is absolutely insane. You're still going higher. You still have this decreasing volume going on the move up. All right. Over here on semis. You don't have the best volume on the day. You actually closed out with lower volume. So, I have to take a guess and just say this was a bull trap. We're probably going to, gap down tomorrow. And I don't even want to say start a reversal. You had a shot over here. You had your shot. Bears again missed your shot. That's why I say, like, hey, that was my lesson over the last few weeks. All right. Just because something's not a long does not mean it's going to be a short. Because in reality, my whole plan was to short the pullback, make some money on the pullback, and then just, long the pullback. The whole plan was to long that pullback. I never got that pullback, and instead I just got stuck holding short. And that was unfortunate. All right? It's okay. This is how things happen. All right? We live. We probably will not forget, and then we learn. And then we move forward. And we don't make these mistakes moving forward. That's like literally life in a nutshell right there. All right? But yeah, guys, I think I made my case here on, weekly charts. This thing's going straight up. It's going to pull back. You're probably going to get that pullback eaten. All right. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now is in the short term, we are slamming into over here on SPY. We have this resistance right here. You have almost filled your gap here, left open at 455.49 from this day all the way back here. The low of the candlestick, you can see it right here, is 455.49. So that was a gap that was left open. You did have sellers stepping in like pretty close there. All right. So within 36 cents, they were starting to step in there. So that is why we do keep these gap fills on the chart. We do have a massive amount of gaps just left open to the downside. We can actually put another one right here. I just didn't want to clutter the chart more, but since we got all the other ones, let's just make a pretty picture here. 441 or 441.31 was it? Over here. All right. 33. Okay. So that is the other gap we're looking at, guys. We have like 4. Okay, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4 gaps to the downside. You now only have 1 left open to the upside. I'm just saying, sooner or later, we probably are going to fill these gaps, all right? But I'm just going to say, what I was trying to get up before, and then I distracted myself, all right? And then told you guys about my lesson over the last few weeks. Guess what, all right? My belief, Henry's belief, is that, guys, there's not many new buyers up here that are causing this move up, all right? This is straight up shorts just getting closed out, closing their positions, and you're getting this slow melt up, and then at times you get what I saw earlier, which was, where was it? Right here, all right? And this is literally just shorts getting squoze, okay? You have these big spike ups, all right? And then the rest of the time, you have a slow melt up, no move down at all. That is not healthy price action. That is literally showing that, guess what, all right? It is completely one-sided right now. When you have that happen, the opposite typically, it typically seems to happen. All right, you now have your RSI at 72. It was at 70 yesterday. It's now at 72. Let's just put on a thing here. It can go higher, right? Which is why, that's why I said what I said earlier with the Fear and Greed Index and pointing out where QQ can go. It can happen. I just really don't think it's going to happen. All right, but we could, guys, we could shove right up here all in one go. All right, bring it from the lowest it's gone in years to, the high. Do it. All right, do it. But yeah, I'm just going to let you guys know right now. All right, I really don't think this is a safe long. I do think people are going to get rug pulled on, but I have shown that I can definitely be wrong. I mean, I told you guys about this the whole time, but guess what? We just saw I was wrong here. All right. I was wrong down here. All right. I'm not going to say I was wrong up here, but we did end up keep going. All right. What I was watching here is for a break underneath 44812. You literally came right down. All right. Or not. No, I was watching for you to break over here. You came down here. You paused there. And then over here, I was looking at this double top. And that's when I was watching 44812, which is the low of this candlestick right here. I was seeing if you were, it looked like you had some bearish structure finally shaping up here with this being your neckline over here at 44812. You did not end up seeing that happen. You shredded the double top and you went on to a new high from there. All right, another $4 up. That's insane to me that it just keeps going up. All right, same exact look over here on QQQ. You had this head and shoulders formation shaping up right here. All right, maybe something like that. Maybe come down. All right, break that, go like that. That was your signal right there with the break of 380, 384-ish. Guess what? You never got it. You're just continuously going higher. But guess what, guys? All of these moves higher are just putting in more divergences. All right. I understand this does not mean we're going to be getting to move down right now, but it definitely does mean that the coil is just, or the spring is just coiling up. It's getting tighter and tighter. We're going to see, let's go over the futures real quick. All right. Let me point that out as well. We're going to see eventually this triple bearish divergence. We're going to see this thing come all the way back down here. All right. I'm not saying something like this happens where, you put in another, like up here. That's how I know we're putting in a major high right now. All right. Just like back down here. All right. Everyone probably thought your boy Henry was stupid. All right. But I knew we were putting in a major low. We had every single factor that I could possibly look to suggesting we're not going much lower. You're about to have a face ripper rally. We got the face ripper rally. I really did wish, I wish I played that a lot better because I knew about it before it was coming. All right, but I guess that's the curse of, charting in the market. All right, everything. You're going to see everything. And if you don't act on everything, you will be missing out on things. It's just part of that, okay? I didn't want to miss out on, a simple $4 to, $10 pullback. We never got that $4 to $10 pullback. Your boy had FOMO. The FOMO went to crap. So there was that. All right, but I am just going to tell you right now, all right, you've had a complete reset on the daily RSI here and I'm not just looking at my indicator, okay? I don't care. We watch candlesticks, we watch structure, we watch our trend lines, we watch our levels, we watch our RSI for our divergences. All right? There are, other things like we came down and we were, bouncing on the 200. Either way, when things pop up, we're going to put them on the charts. And right now, I'm just letting you guys know right now, just like I was getting bullish when I started seeing this over here. All right. Yeah, we went lower. All right. But I was like, yo, this is when I was starting to say major bottom is getting put in. We're no longer looking for just that pullback and then moving back down. We're looking for a major bottom to get put in. Guys, I'm looking for a decent size top to be put in before a decent size retracement. Yes, I went over what I went over at first to show, once I just said what I just said, how like I'm looking for a major pullback here. But to show you guys that I am still extremely bullish on this market, all right? Yes, you're extremely likely going to get that retracement. These divergences are literally telling us that it is coming. The spring is literally just coiling up for us. All right, you see this trend line? It's probably going to come with a trend line break of that. That's probably going to be a very clear signal. But guess what? We don't know when that's going to happen. But let's just go back to history and see how long do you typically stay up here before you get that? Before you get that. We never got that. We're just staying up here, guys. This was our pullback. That was our pullback. The whole thing. A $5 move over in SPY. That was the whole thing. And then you continued on that. Another $20 higher in SPY. I am just putting it out there. This is not going to be sustainable. All right? And that's why I've made it very clear this video, where like what my thoughts are on the market, guys. We have a short squeeze, crazy bullish market, but we have a short squeeze. I don't think many buyers up here supporting these moves. All right, you literally could see right here, you have decreasing volume from here up there. You're steadily coming down here, and now you have this and this. That was your last, move ups. All right, guys. So I am just putting it out there. Eventually, we're going to see this thing play out. We're going to get bullish on the dang pullback. We're probably going to ride QQ to all-time high. Don't let me sound like a, perma bear there, but again, this is why I spent that much time going over this chart here. This thing looks ridiculously bullish. I was ridiculously bullish over here. After this first week, I was also ridiculously bullish. I was just looking for a pullback. All right. And now we've seen this play out. I'm definitely looking at the pullback, but I think this was just, you know, one move. All right, I think we're probably going to get something like that, and then you're going to continue on. All right, but does this not look like you're having your next leg up like that? I'm just putting that one out there. Okay, it looks insanely bullish. Does that mean what's behind this bullish move is bullish? No, I think we're going to be fizzling out. But the reason it's going on like this is because everyone's waiting for it to fizzle out. So that is why I wanted to, over here in SPY, we have that red line. You can see right here. All right, guys, this is where we're going to be looking for these daily divergences or a major top. All right, right here, this was your major top. Boom, boom. Well, it wasn't your major top. On the hourly time frame, it was a major high. But here on the daily time frame, we can't call that a major high, all right? The major low would be down here. Major high would be over here. Major low, high, low, you know. All right, and then you look over here on the weekly time frame, and the picture becomes very easy what is major and what's not. All right, you can see this right here. You know, I just called this a major low. Guess what? On the weekly time frame, we're talking right here. That's why we took this, our fibs, from that level. Look at that, guys. We literally, like, it was, you know, so picture perfect. And now you see why, when things are so picture perfect looking, your boy Henry is just going to scream at the top of his lungs. All right. I don't really care if I look stupid. I'll just keep going on. It's fine. All right. Like I'll be here, guys, every week. You know, most days I'll be here every week. But yeah, guys. All right. I'm bullish, but I'm bearish in the short term. I am. But I also fully acknowledge what is causing this move is the short squeeze. And until, you know, I don't want to say until that fuel runs out, because that fuel is not going to run out. It's not. All right. People are going to keep trying to short the market. All right. But yeah, until, you know, they really push this thing to absolute extreme here, catch a lot of people off guard, they got to convince people to come here to the long side, because down here, I'm back over here, down here, you know, they didn't want to convince people of the long side. They wanted to convince everyone to sell your longs, and then let me have a face ripper rally here. And then everyone's probably going to FOMO into it and fuel a further face ripper, all right? It's 11%. All right? No options, no nothing. 11% on your money. And they wanted you to sell down here. So I'm just saying, I would definitely be taking profits up here, like 110%. I don't care if you're not, like, you know, a shorter term trader like I try and be sometimes. All right? It doesn't matter. All right? Long term, short term. You know, guys, it's unsafe not to take your profits. I'm just going to definitely say that right now. You are so extremely likely going to get a pullback that at least fills this gap. But I'm just going to say, I think we're going to probably still come all the way back down here, 430 to 435. I really do. All right. I think this is going to be a very, very decent pullback here. All right. You have now ran over here on SPY over $45. All right. The bottom right here, the top, $45.90. 46 smackaroos. All right. Do you really think it's unreasonable to retrace, you know, any of this move, honestly? Not even 50%, any of the move. Give us this gap fill, coming back test right here. All right. What I think is definitely preferable is if you come all the way back down there, come over here, moving average. All right. I'm going to put on the 200 here. I think you're probably going to tap this. And we're going to put on the 20 MA right after this. All right. So you have the 200 all the way down here. It's not going to, I don't really care. Like, give it some time. It's still not going to make it up here. So I think, yeah, we're probably still going to be coming down here in this golden pocket. It's probably going to scare a ton of people. And anybody who isn't taking profits all along here. And that's why I say, like, I'm not talking about the people who just sniped the top are going to get rug pulled out. I think anybody who caught, you buy above here. I think you're about to be, you know, yeah. All right. I think you're about to go from green to red. All right. And that's why I say, you know, I think a lot of people are going to get trapped in a rug pull. I'm not talking about the people who just, you know, been buying in this whole time. I'm talking about the people who are literally trying to buy in up here. I think it makes absolutely no sense. All right. Back here, it was debatable because even if we're getting a pullback, we were not looking for a super deep pullback. We were looking for a pullback to 425 around this area to the 200 MA. Up here, now, that's a lot of freaking room to the downside, all right? So I want to make that very clear here. Very clear. Okay? Now, we will talk about a setup that I am interested in right now. All right? Oxy. All right, guys? I think Oxy is actually shaping up rather nice. It doesn't really matter where you draw this trend line, all right? Regardless, you have this going on here. All right, so you have this falling wedge going on here. You also could take it right here. You could draw, you have a ascending wedge going on, broadening bottom. All right, doesn't really matter where you draw that trend line. All right, I'm going to keep it up here as a falling wedge. You have already broken out of the falling wedge. You're now back testing. You're coming back to back test. I understand you broke out, came back, and you're doing that. I'm just saying this thing does look like it is shaping up to get back up here. All right, you see that gap over at 65.08. That is honestly, you know, that is where I would be targeting over here. If you get above 62, all right, right over here, you can see it pretty clear on the 4-hour time frame here. All right, you got a lot going on here. If you can get above the zone, we'll make it with a zone. If you get above there, you know, you're not going to have anything until this next resistance $1 higher. But I think you're probably going to have a decent rally up here to 65.08. All right, so that is something I am paying attention to. All right, that is your setup of the week. Holy Jesus, DK never pulled back. This is what I'm saying. Everything just kept going, and it never pulled back. You literally flipped your high here. You flipped your all-time high. No, you didn't flip your all-time high. You flipped your 52-week high. All right, DK doesn't have anything till you come all the way up here. That's insane to me. Insane in the membrane, okay? Insane. But now we're going to come over here to Netflix. All right, let's just look at Netflix. Another ticker that never pulled back. These are, guys, this is like across the board. Every single thing where we can look at here has gone on a straight up rally, either low volume or decreasing volume. All right. And you're running. Why did I just type it in like that? Okay. It's been a long day. I got to type in Apple the normal way at my job. That is why. All right. But Apple, guys, you came up, you filled this dang brain fart, dude. Holy jeez, I've been up since, you know, too early. We'll just say too early. It was in between 4 and 5, and then I went in at 8:30. All right, but you got this gap fill over here at 160.69. You reversed off of the other day, but then you had a hammer candlestick right over here. All right, so now you can see on the hourly time frame, you literally held right there. So again, this is what I was saying on QQQ and SPY. They were shaping up not to skyrocket. They were shaping up as a double top. All right, we haven't gotten the structure the whole entire time. We haven't had double top structure. You finally had your bear structure. All right. But again, with these divergences, dude, they just keep going for days. All right, for days. Do you see this decreasing volume? Apple is going to tank the freaking market, my friends. That is what is about to happen. Will it go after that? Yeah, I think we probably do push up to a new all-time high. All right. You got all these things just continuously going crazy. Microsoft today, right? They fired their what was his name? All right, they fired someone. It was down overnight, pretty big. Then it was up overnight, pretty big, and then it sold off into the open. And then you rallied all day. You had an $8 up day. All right, this is the exception. You are still at all-time highs. You do have your RSI doing, you know, a thing over there. But all right, that is the exception. You come over to Nvidia, another name that just rallied hard, like really freaking hard, off of low volume. Now, were we bullish down here? Yeah. All right, I remember calling that out here on the channel. I definitely remember it over in the Discord. But I'm telling you right now, we're at all-time highs. You've had this whole run, resetting this thing back up here. All right, but this is what I'm saying over here on the Qs. All right, guys, we can get a pullback, but I think it's just going to be a pullback. This is what happens when everyone's trying to short the same thing. All right, you get these little dips. That's what I was trying to show you on the 5-minute chart earlier on SPY, how you just get spikes. All right, this is a short squeeze chart. All right. Oh, people think you're about to start breaking down through support, so you short right here. Oh, they provide the next short squeeze rally. Oh, you come back to support. Oh, they provide the next short squeeze fuel for the short squeeze rally. All right, now you're at a new high. You're like, oh, wow, it's with the divergence. Get your little pullback. Oh, it's starting. Nope, back up to a new high. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. All right, that's what I think is definitely going on over here. If you take a look at SPY on the 5-minute time frame, you can literally, I understand we got a lot of clutter on the chart. You can literally see this exact same concept happening on the 5-minute time frame. It is a continued short squeeze, which is why I say there's probably not a lot of people behind the move up here. All right, so this is probably what they're doing to trap people. All right, there's that. Okay. Come over here to Goog. Goog is the one that did have more room. Look at that. You did come down here off support and you bounce off support. And now you're setting up as a head and shoulders formation. But guys, honestly, I don't know if this is going to freaking end up playing out because, you know, we had our shot at bear structure across the board on like every single ticker that I watch. And then you shot up to a new high. All right. So like, I'm going to put an alert here just so I know. All right. Tomorrow, intraday. Are we going to new freaking high over here on Goog? Are we going to start breaking down? It's one or the other. All right. You got a lot of range here, right? So like, don't be surprised if you see a doji tomorrow. All right. That would be that. All right. And then Amazon, we can also look at Meta as well. But Amazon over here has also been doing this rally hard off of decreasing volume. Like, guys, everywhere I look on the big guys, you got this pattern, except Meta over here. So Meta and Microsoft are the exceptions, but all of the other big boys are looking ready to have a rug pull. All right. Volume is showing us that these moves are fake moves. All right. Which is why, again, I think this builds into my thesis here. Short squeeze rally. I understand that's what kicked it off as well, but guess what? That is all of the fuel going on up here. Or at least we're going to say 90% of the fuel. That is how I'm seeing the market, all right? Come over here to MU, all right? Continuing to push up to new highs. Is this off of crazy volume? No. All right? No. From here on out, this whole move up here was off of your decreasing volume. After this move right here. All right, you've moved up almost another 10%, and there's that. DSM, all right, you do have your doji candles. This is also one I'm watching. All right, but yeah, you have your doji candlestick going on, rallied on up, decreasing volume. It's literally everywhere. It's not everywhere I'm looking, all right? It's not everywhere. Avgo, I don't think is sharing this pattern, all right? Meh. All right, these low volume advances. I'm just saying, I'm not liking it. But, I want that pullback, all right? I would like to long that freaking pullback, but I will wait for the decent pullback, all right? Now, did I shoot myself in the foot thinking that I should be waiting for a pullback and then every single day I could have bought any dip? Didn't matter which dip it was, I would have been, very profitable. Yeah, all right? Giant shoot fucking Henry's foot, all right? I got a giant nail sitting in my foot right now. Let's put it that way, all right? With a nail gun, okay? But I still think it's extremely unsafe to just sit there longing up here. I think you're going to get a better opportunity. I think that opportunity is probably going to be somewhere between here and all the way down here, okay? Golden pocket aligns with down here. You can see this yellow line and that yellow line. This is your 50% retracement, that white line. Yeah, those are where we're looking at. All right, guys. With that being said, on the hourly time frame, what are you really paying attention to structure-wise? All right, guys, you have to see something like this because you are so far away from your last low over here that you're probably not going to get all down there in one shot and just have a massive red bar. All right, you're probably going to see a decline. You're going to establish a low, and then you're going to establish a lower high at some point, and then you do that. Okay, and then right when you break there, that's your signal that the tide is changing. We haven't been able to do it the whole entire time. You have not been able to put in this exact structure. Look at that. You had this structure. You failed the structure. You went up to a new high. All right. So that is exactly like you see it right here. Double top, broke underneath it. You literally just started playing out this double top and then you shoot up. All right. Like it has been bear trap after bear trap. Is the bear structure going to end up playing out? I think it's probably, exactly this is probably something similar to what we're going to get. All right. Come over to Mr. VIX, close out the video. Actually, I want to go look at Bitcoin. All right, I want to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not Bitcoin. VIX is being crushed, and you have support down at 1273. All right, that could be seen from this low over here. And you have a touch point right there. You have a touch point right there, and we're about to have our fourth touch point. All right, now let's close off this video on Bit of the Corn. Bit of the Corn is doing some crazy things. I want to acknowledge these crazy things. All right, we're going to come over to the weekly time frame, and I'm going to point out above here, you have absolutely nothing. You don't have any form of structure that you're going to bump your head into. All right. That is a 25% move up. If you see this happen, you're going to see the miners go absolutely insane. Don't let me make you FOMO into miners. All right. But I think they're putting in this base, just like we've seen other rounded bottoms. Okay. Maybe some consolidation like that. All right. But I think we are putting in that. Bitcoin does end up moving up. This thing could get some legs. All right, you've literally been forming this consolidation pattern for quite some time now. All right, quite some time. Think you are about to get ready to break up. So I just, that's that. That's literally all I want to tell you guys. All right, Riot as well. I think this thing is looking pretty juicy over here. All right, we're gonna put a zone on right here. Okay, if you can get past here, you will have nothing until all the way up here. Okay, you have no structure to hit your head on. Nothing. Okay, so if you can do it, you could do it. Coin, it's another one that's looking absolutely flawless. I was trying this guy today. All right. I don't think I put this on the watch list. I think I put Riot on the watch list, but Coin was definitely a ticker that I thought was about to pop off on Monday. All right. This guy, but it was also right into resistance, so I can't put it on there. That's, that's not okay. All right. Regardless, above here, guys, that is when you really got nothing. Okay. You have absolutely nothing until you come all the way up here. If you really want to look at something, all right, guess what? All right. It's actually not going to line up as perfect as I thought it might. All right. But just something like, let me just show you guys what I'm pointing out here. All right. All right, it's not going to line up. It is not going to line up. I thought it would line up, all right? But I was thinking I saw something that, other people might have not. All right. But yeah, inverse head and shoulders. I know I got a lot of arrows, but let's just declutter our chart right here. All right, and then what are we going to do? We're going to go like that. You guys see the pattern I'm putting out there, right? You got the inverse head and shoulders. You got the break and retest. I understand it's not really, the most sexy break and retest, but we could say screw the head and shoulders, the inverse head and shoulders, say screw that. We could literally just put on boom, 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 boom. All right, this whole area here, okay? We had sellers prevailing. Guess what? This is literally where you consolidated and then moved up, and it looks like you're about to have another leg up. So, all right, guys, that is what I'm going to conclude this video on. And yeah, with that being said, I'm bullish on the pullback, but I am short-term so bearish. I don't even want to say so bearish because this thing can keep going. It can. I want to, make sure everyone understand what's behind this move is short squeeze. All right. It is people closing out their shorts and it is, causing this move up. When you close out your shorts, all right, guess what? Closing your put option. Let's say these were in the money put options. Guess what happens? All right. Dealer gets to unhedge your put. What does that do? It is now buying 100 shares per contract. That is the thing that I think is making this thing go. All right. With that being said, I'll catch you all in the next one. Everybody have a lovely rest of your night and peace.